Hey everybody, I'm James Zapp. Today I decided to take a break from doing acoustic covers and show you the studio that I'm working in. So this is a home studio. If you do follow my channel, I do acoustic covers of songs. If you don't follow my channel, I'd really appreciate that subscribe button. I'd like to get up to 1,000, that'd be pretty cool, so thank you. But I haven't put out a video in a while because a couple months ago there was a flood at my house that I was staying in, and none of my stuff got ruined, thankfully, but I had to move. So I am now in this new cool place and I finally set up my studio. And I thought I'd run you through everything that I use, how I use it, what I use it for, everything. I'll also try to leave a list of links to everything that I use as well, whether it be Amazon or Sweetwater. I'll have a link down in the description. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is probably one of the most important things I use, which is my camera. And that camera is a Canon 5D Mark IV. I use the 24 to 103 millimeter lens. I'm going to double check that, and if it's different, I'll leave it up here in the corner. The camera is great. It's super heavy though. It's a little on the outdated side. If you're looking for a camera, I like Canon. A lot of people say for video stuff they recommend Sony. I'm thinking about moving to that. Canon 5D Mark IV is a great camera. It's been tried and tested. It is heavy duty though, so if you get stands, make sure you get quality stands. Speaking of stands, I use a newer 31.5 inch motorized track, which if you see in some of my videos, the camera is moving automatically, it looks like. So that's the stand that it's on. Another thing about the videos that I do is that I do most of them live, and meaning that I'm recording my voice and the guitar at the exact same time and it's going into Pro Tools. I'll talk about the software in a little bit. I don't do any pre-recording and then dub over it. If I did do that, I would preface it in the video. I do editing after I record it in terms of compression, EQ, all that kind of stuff. So lights. The lights I use two Newer lights. Now, this video is not sponsored by Newer. Newer, if you are watching, yeah, I'd love a sponsorship, but I have no loyalty to any light company. So the first one I use is my softbox, which is over here, and this is a Newer CB60 RBG as well, and this also has a 26-inch softbox, octagonal softbox from Newer on it as well, which softens up the light, gives a nice shadow. And the other side of me, just to give some light towards my face, this is a 21-inch Newer flapjack. Super thin, super easy. If you don't want to invest that, this is a lot cheaper. I'll also use the Aperture Marin MC Mini, which are these small little lights that you can put on. You can kind of put them anywhere. They're magnetic. It can kind of give like a nice glow or a color if you want something in the background. All right, so that's it for lights. Let's move on to the next thing. So I'm just going to go around the room and show it in order of everything going around what I use. So this is the Alesis Strike drum kit. This is the brain module right here. This is really cool because it actually has outputs for the inputs that are on it. So the snare has its own output that you can track. The kick has its own output. Also, just having to plug in for headphones, you can kind of play through the night and not really hear too much. The bigger drums are better. The response on the stick to the head is similar to a drum set. Nothing's really exactly like a real snare or real tom or real kick, but this is pretty close, and I like that I can play late or also track stuff. I also use the USB out on this to track MIDI into the DAW. It's a great drum kit. Next thing we have is a Yamaha MX88 keyboard, fully weighted keys, 88 keys, hence MX88. Really good just for practicing. Again, you can plug headphones in. I have this directly hardwired into one of my audio interfaces, so I just turn it on and turn up the controller on that, and I can get it working. It's great. I have taken this out on gigs, a couple beer stains and stuff on here, but really solid working keyboard. Okay, so moving down the line this way, for my speakers, I use HS8s by Yamaha. They're pretty decent for just some at-home recording. And I also use two 3-inch Maukeys, which I got on Amazon, which were super cheap. And I use that to switch between the two speakers to see how it sounds on less expensive speakers compared to more expensive speakers. Both of those are plugged into the Mackie Big Knob. This is the version 1. This is what I used when I was in college. I really like it. I don't know why they upgraded it. Buttons for my DAW input, my computer input. Also, it has a phono or phono, I don't know how you pronounce that, driver inside, so you actually plug a vinyl record player into this as well and use that. And I can switch between my 3 monitors. Also, if I wanted a sub, I could go into the sub and have a third one if I wanted to as well. Also has a mono switch, so anything I'm listening to, whether I'm tracking it, I can check it in mono, mute, dim. From there, I am using a fader port, the version 2. If you're going to get the fader port, it's really cool, but don't get the foot switch because it doesn't have a way to punch in, at least on Pro Tools, for the foot switch, which I don't like because a lot of times I'll be tracking and I want to just tap that and have that go in. Mouse, I'm using the Logitech Master MX3. This mouse is killer. I saw somebody else on YouTube use it once and I ordered it and it has been outstanding. This is just called the Logitech Keys, which goes with the keyboard as well. Speaking of keyboards, down here, this is a Complete Control. This is the first version. Also got this on sale at Guitar Center. It's a great keyboard in terms of if you use Contact, which is great. You can load them up on this and edit it on the fly. I also have here the Gator Frameworks desk mounted, I think it's the Elite Boom Arm, which is super easy. If I just need to record something quick, I can just drop it down and just have the microphone plugged in. The microphone I have plugged in right now is a Warm Audio WA47 Junior. Super cool. It's kind of based off of the U47 that Neumann or Telefunken makes. It's a lot smaller though and a lot cheaper than a 47. The interfaces that I'm using an Apollo Twin X, and I'm using the ADAT output to go into my Focusrite Claret Octo Pre, so it gives me 8 more channels I can use along with the 2 with the Apollo, so I have 10 total. Computer that I'm using a MacBook Pro with the M4 Pro chip in it, 24 gigs of RAM and a terabyte of solid state drive. I do recommend, if you're looking for a new computer, whether that be Mac or PC, I have no loyalty to either, but definitely get a higher hard drive and higher RAM. The hard drive, you don't know how much of these can take up, some of these plugins, all this stuff can take up space on your computer. So what I have done is I've gotten external hard drives. I use a T9 for my main documents and my main recording, and my plugins I use a Samsung T7, which is just always on and always plugged in. Everything from the computer, the monitor that I'm using is a LG ultra wide 34-inch curved monitor. I had just a regular 34-inch, didn't care for the curve, didn't use it. In my move that I talked about before, it broke. All the other TVs I moved didn't break, but for some reason this monitor, which I took extra care of, broke, so I went and got this one. It's great, the curved is cool. Do like the idea of dual monitors. I don't know if I'll ever do that, probably not 34-inch, but the monitor, the computer, and most of the MIDI stuff that I have plugged in via USB is plugged into this CalDigit TS4. I saw a guy online talk about this, and this is the best hub you can get. It's got 18 inputs on the back of it, display port, USB-C, USB-A. There's USB-A in the front, 2 USB-Cs in the front. When you plug it into your laptop, it'll actually charge your laptop. It has 98 watts of powering as well, which is incredible. So the laptop just stays in its little stand back there, and it's plugged into this. The desk is really cool. This is based off of an output desk. I don't think they're called output anymore, but there's a name for them that I'll put here. Father and I built this based off the schematics that they had on it, which is super cool because when you're building it yourself, you can kind of decide what you want. I put a couple more holes on the side here for easy access to hide cables and stuff. That's the desk. Now on my computer, I use Pro Tools as a DAW or digital audio workstation. I have no qualms against people using Logic or Cubase or Studio One or FL Studio. It's just what I learned and I'm used to it, so I like using Pro Tools. Plugins, I use the Waves subscription bundle, which is great if you're using Waves a lot. The subscription bundle seems to be the best way to go, unless you already own the Mercury bundle, which, good for you. I wish I could own that. I'm using a bunch of UAD plugins as well because of the Apollo Twin, which those are amazing, especially using the console app that they have, so you can actually add those on and record them directly into UAD. I'll do that a lot when recording some of the acoustic videos I do. And now let's move over to the patch bay. So this is my patch bay that I use. This is great if you have multiple things that you need to plug in. Some of you already know the patch bays. If you don't, I can basically take an output of something and plug it into an input of something and vice versa. Patch bay I have is a PB48, super cheap TRS patch bay. I think I got this on either Facebook Marketplace or possibly even Sweetwater. It works perfectly. You just use TRS cables in the back to plug in what you want to, and I use TRS cables in the front. I also have all the ones I need right here. Underneath that, my Furman power strip, which powers everything on this. Under that, I use my headphone output, which is the Mackie HM800. This gives me 8 channels of headphone outputs, and the way that I have that wired up sometimes if I do have people over to record is I use the outputs of my Apollo twin. I use outputs 3 and 4 and plug them into my patch bay, and I can take them out and plug them into the headphones according to, I use 7 and 8. And I can use the sends on Pro Tools to send them their own headphone mix. Other than that, if everybody just wants the same mix, I do have 8 options to give them their own mix. Under that is a super cool preamp I got on Facebook Marketplace. It's the Joe Meek Twin Q. This has a equalizer on it, a preamp, a optical compressor on it as well. You can run it in stereo or you can run it in dual mono if you want, or just single mono, obviously. Super, super great for bass. That's what I usually like to use it on. I will use it on my vocals as well if I hone in the right one, or if I have somebody I'm recording and I can hone in there and take the time to just get the sound right. Underneath that is the Clark Technic the Clark Technic 2A KT. This is based off the LA2A. I don't have LA2A money, so I'm just going with the Clark Technic or the KT here. It works great, just the optical compressor. I'll definitely always use it on bass, so I'll plug it out of the preamp into the compressor. Really good for vocals too, even if I just put that on vocals just a little bit, just giving it maybe 1-2 dB of gain reduction, it works really well. Underneath that, we have 2 drawers. I just got these on Sweetwater. They're the Nave point, one bigger, one smaller. I just keep a lot of cables, USB-C cables, USB-B, any type of computer cable I'm gonna need. It goes in there. Also Post-its, pens, pencils. What this is all in is a Gator Frameworks Elite Series 10U rack. It's great. It's got a pull-out drawer here, which is awesome. I keep some things that I generally need, usually a tuner if I have one, a DI box, my cloud lifter, which the cloud lifter is used for my SM7B, which I'll go over microphones in just a second. Really convenient. Everything goes out the back. Cable's kind of hidden best I can in the studio. I don't really like too many messy cables, so I try to organize them as best as possible. Over here on this side, I use the mounts for the headphones I just got on Amazon, which look nice, but it's an Audio-Technica M50 headphones, the Shure SRH260s, I believe, and the AKG Studio headphones, the 240s. Let's go check out some microphones. So in terms of microphones, I do use a couple of different microphones depending on what I'm recording, how I'm recording it, who I'm recording, all the W's of recording. So the first one, as I said before, is the Warm Audio WA47 Junior large diaphragm condenser microphone. I'd love to try the new ones or the bigger ones, just the 47s that Warm Audio has, but hopefully I'll save up for that point. Staying in the Warm Audio realm, this is a Warm Audio 14 based off the AKG 414 that they have. This is great. Also, it's got the figure 8 Omni polar pattern on this microphone, which is great. The clip that it comes with is actually super durable, which I like a lot. Also, it's got a pad on it as well. This is great for acoustic guitars, overheads if you've got a pair. These are really versatile microphones. With the cloud lifter that I have the SM7B. This is a workhorse of a microphone. I will use this on basically any instrument, my voice, my guitar, an amplifier. I'll use this on anything. You do need a cloud lifter with it to increase the gain on the microphone, but I know that Clark Technic, I think I am saying that right, Clark Technic will also make a cloud lifter for a little bit cheaper too. If you like the cloud lifter, that's great. You can just get the cloud lifter like I did. If you're gonna get this, definitely you have to get one of those boxes to plug into. This one I picked up recently. This is the Lewitt LCT 240 Pro. This is a cool microphone. A lot of people on podcasts and some recording things are using it. I like to use it on acoustic guitar, especially towards the body. You'll see in some of my videos, I'll put it down to the corner. Pretty much use it for anything. I haven't tried it on vocals yet, but it might be a good secondary mic to have in the background. And what mic collection wouldn't be complete without a SM57? This is just a great mic. I'm not really gonna go too into the SM57. Also the Sennheiser E609, great for guitars. I'll use this live when I'm playing in a wedding band or something and just pop this right on, just have it dangling off the cable. Both solid microphones, should definitely have in your arsenal. In terms of my guitars, I use for acoustic a Takamine P3NY. It's the parlor guitar that they have. It's a smaller body. I recently found out that that's actually the guitar that Hozier uses. Not that guitar directly, but just that guitar. Electric guitar I use a bunch of them, but the one I mainly use now is the Epiphone ES335. Love that guitar. I would love to get the Gibson version of it, but I can't justify spending thousands of dollars when the Epiphone works great for me. Also, I'm a big Noel Gallagher fan, so he was an Epiphone guy. The bass, I never thought I'd be playing a lot of bass, but I've recently been playing some gigs on bass, which has been a lot of fun, and I picked up this bass a long time ago at Guitar Center. It's the Sterling Music Man Stingray 5, so it's the lower end of the Music Man guitars. And it's a 5-string, active pickups, and that thing has survived not one but 2 floods, and that bass is just a workhorse. It works perfectly. Also something that I've done a lot of, which I would love to get some bass players, if you're listening, your take on this. For the 5-string, I use the flat wounds on the E through the G, and my low B, I actually use a round wound, which gives it a little bit brighter tone, so it's not too dark with the flat wounds. So if you ever thought about doing that, let me know if you think that's a good idea. I seem to like it a lot. Also, for lights in the background, I use the Govee Lyra lamps. They're great. You can hook them up to your Alexa. I also have the Hex lights as well. Those are super great, all hooked up to it, that when I say, Alexa, turn studio off, they all go off. And I say, Alexa, studio on, everything pops on. So I like that a lot. It can pop everything off. I also have the Govee plugs, which are great because I have them hooked up into my softbox and my flapjack light as well. So when I want to record, I just tell the machine to turn it on, and it turns it on, which is great. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'm hopefully gonna be putting out some more songs and stuff like that, and covers, and maybe some of my original stuff that I've been working on, which I've been having a lot of fun with. If you have any questions at all about anything I use or I didn't explain something, please let me know, and I'd be happy to answer those questions for you in the comments. Thank you so much. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please, I'd really appreciate that. So thank you so much, guys.